everybody! I hope everything is going well for you. I'm going to be working on a painting that is going to be printed into a notebook or a bullet journal. So what you're going to see first is the front cover, and then I'll work on the back. Do you ever feel a deep sense of loneliness when it comes to the art side of you? I often feel just a little alone when it comes to my passion of art. I don't think I'm the only artist that has felt isolated in what they do. Some of that is self-inflicted, some of it is just due to the nature of it. When you're drawing, you're often alone in a room not talking to anybody. And so eventually you're gonna feel a little isolated. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of artists are introverted, or at least the few that I've interacted with. I am certainly an introvert and have a tendency to isolate myself without even realizing it. I've also learned that just because someone likes art doesn't mean they want to talk in-depthly about it. I remember an art class at school. I thought everyone there was passionate about art. I learned very quickly that that was not the case. I'm not trying to complain. Most of the time, I don't mind being a little lonely. I like my space. But I think it's something that a lot of artists deal with and isn't really talked about, or at least I haven't seen it talked about very much. For me, it's usually subtle and in the back of my mind, but occasionally it creeps up. When it does, I try to make an effort to see friends or family, because by that point I've probably neglected that area of my life for a while. I've actually found it helpful to start this YouTube channel. I like to share my art with people and make them happy. Even though I'm not talking with people face to face, I still find it helpful to just share what I've done and, get the occasional nice comment. I've also liked just bringing my art supplies with me to other places. Not necessarily talking to anyone, but just being in a different place, and sometimes people will strike up a conversation. I like to bring my iPad to coffee shops, but sometimes I bring my sketchbook to the park for something different. Also because it is incredibly hard to see your screen in the sun. Sometimes just a change in routine can be enough to make me feel better. I think the biggest thing that has helped me keep this subtle loneliness at bay is just being happy with my own art and finding a sense of company with myself. Don't get me wrong, it has taken me a long time to get comfortable with my art. I used to hate it all the time, but then I slowly realized that it was contributing to how alone I felt. It wasn't healthy to constantly be belittling my own art to myself. So I've slowly learned to accept where I'm at, but still work on improving. Let yourself enjoy the art you made. After all, you probably weren't painting something you didn't like, unless you're working for someone, but that's totally different. I personally like my art, even though I know it's flawed. Don't hate your art because it's yours and you've put a bit of yourself into it. You can acknowledge that it may have some flaws, or that it didn't turn out how you thought it was going to, but it's still your art. You are the only person who has interpreted that idea the way you did. Whether you're painting or animating or drawing, let yourself see the good, and just because something is flawed doesn't mean it's bad. I know we all know not to compare ourselves with others, but we're gonna do it anyways, so I'm not gonna go into how not to compare yourself with others. There are many videos for that. So if you find yourself comparing your art to another person's, try not to focus on all the things you don't like about your art, but try to focus on what you do like about their art, and think about how you can implement it into your own. Try to determine what it is about their art you like, not just, I wish I could do that. By the way, I'm not condoning scrolling down some dark hole and actively comparing yourself to every art piece you like. I'm just saying that maybe when you notice that you are starting to do that, ask yourself how you can make this a productive study instead of focusing on your art flaws. I think that has helped me a lot. I still go down that dark Pinterest rabbit hole of looking at everybody else's art, but I've actively tried to not think about it in the sense that, I could never do that, or I wish I could do that, or they're so much better than me. But I try to look at it and be like, oh, I really like this painting because the lighting is super cool. I want to see if I can try that lighting angle with my own art. And I'm not saying copy their art, but just try to incorporate it into the art that you already do and look at it as a lesson or a study instead of just hating on yourself and the art that you do, because we're all improving. We're all at different stages of art. And just because that's where they are now doesn't mean you can't get there one day. You don't know, maybe they've been doing art for 50 years and you just haven't had that time yet. Anyway, thank you for watching. It was a little bit more serious this time around, but I hope you got to draw along. Have a lovely day. Bye.